Hi, my name is Koi, and I am the owner of A Ray of Gratitude. I like to make videos and content around creative healing as well as spiritual growth. I also like to talk about emotional wellness. And, I'm definitely a writer for people that have big ass hearts, empaths, and highly sensitive people. And if you resonate with this video or those terms, this may be for you. This video is really about talking more about owning and embracing the spiritual journey. For a long time, I honestly did not want to tell people about my spiritual journey or even talk about the word of me being spiritual. I don't really feel like there's a need to wear it as a badge because honestly, it shows through you as you just be. But it's a long journey. And when I became aware that I was actually on a spiritual journey, it was like, okay, yeah, this is something that's happening that's a little bit greater than me. There's a lot of things that I can't control. And I've always been into the realm of spirituality, but I did not quite understand what it really was until I defined it. And I think that's what a lot of people sometimes may deal with a little bit because it's like, what exactly is spirituality? But in essence, it's really about, at its simplest form, because I'm a very complex person, and it can be complex, but it can also be simple. And at its simplest form, it's really about connecting to your soul and feeling the spirit that you hold, your essence, your original essence, and connecting with the spiritual realm, whether it can look in many ways. There's different types of spirituality, just like different types of religion, right? And can you be religious and spiritual? Absolutely, hands down. But um just for me, a lot of times I feel that like religion majority wise does not teach you how to tap into your own spirit and your own essence and be true to you. Spirit likes to flow, just like creativity. And creativity has been a big part of my healing as well as my spiritual journey. I'd love for you to just watch and see these 5 things that I would tell to myself in the beginning of my journey. And hopefully it can help whoever is watching. So, number 1, I tell myself you need to really work on your anxiety. And many times we bring on anxiety from overthinking. Now, I don't know if you're anything like me, but when I was growing up until my adulthood, people have told me I think too much and, I'm too sensitive and blasey, right? But many times I was analyzing. This is something that I do. There's a difference between analyzing and overthinking. Did I overthink? Absolutely. But sometimes people just didn't get me and they just threw those phrases at me and it just made me more frustrated. And it's like, hello here. I just I grew up in a family high anxiety parents and also I didn't really learn how to have coping mechanisms that were for me and to deal with my emotions. And it was kind of it just built more anxiety when I started feeling certain emotions and I had no idea where they were coming from. And that's why I would tell myself in the beginning of the journey to really just kind of focus and be aware of your anxiety because honestly, we cause a lot more anxiety to ourselves than we're aware of. And for me, it was like I knew at that point that I needed to change a lot of things, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. But I just didn't know where to start. And that caused more anxiety. And I was like, like, what am I going to do? But at the end of the day, I can say that I remember looking into meditation. And it was more forms of traditional meditations. So it was more about being still and really just tuning in and being mindful. But along my journey, I also have found out that there are numerous ways to meditate, and creativity, it was definitely one of them. It was kind of hard to get into the zone though, because I was so focused on like regimen and the things that I had to do and adulthood and all that stuff, which added more anxiety, right? And I really felt like I couldn't stop to smell the roses. In all actuality, that kind of dealt with money issues and again, anxiety. When you can allow yourself to find peace, that is the biggest thing that can allow you to calm down and really open up to spirit and really just take a breath. And that's the other thing. If I were to tell myself in the beginning about the anxiety, it's really about like, all right, how do I start to break down, the anxiety and relieve that? By stopping and taking a freaking breath. All right? So, number 2, don't beat yourself up. I don't know who told us that we have to be perfect. And I know it's very cliche to say that you are perfect just the way you are, but it's really about knowing yourself. And again, beating yourself up is only telling yourself what you are not. Don't do it. It adds more problems. It causes more stress, more anxiety, and literally beats yourself up spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. The only thing that we're missing is the physical. And of course we know physically if you are causing harm to yourself, that doesn't help. So just imagine mentally and emotionally as well as spiritually, it does not help either. It actually causes more harm than anybody telling you some crap about yourself. It allows and opens the doors for you to believe things that aren't true. So that's definitely something I would tell myself in the beginning of this journey when I recognized this was a spiritual journey. It was like, don't beat yourself up. Like, it's really not about perfectionism. That perfectionism is really almost like a trauma response. And that takes away from spirit coming in to help you and guide you. If you continue to listen to the lies that you're telling yourself, that brings your vibration down low. And spirit can only do but so much. And you definitely can't hear yourself. You're drowning yourself with those negative thoughts that you're telling yourself. So please don't beat yourself up. The spiritual path is really about raising your vibration, raising your consciousness. And by beating yourself up, whether it's, again, mentally, emotionally, physically, it's doing just as much damage to you spiritually. So I definitely would tell myself, don't do it. That's like putting a noose on your neck. Also, 3, what I would tell myself is creativity is definitely the healing component. And when you find out what your creative source is that helps you feel good and get into the zone, that's that. Creativity is comes in so many different ways and shapes and forms, just like spirituality. It's not a one size fits all. For me, I went to art school, but I came from a family of highly creative people. And little did I know that I was just repeating the ancestral patterns that didn't allow us to really embrace our creativity and flourish in it. Because some people are like, you come from a creative family? Why are you struggling? Well, because I've learned many patterns of struggle in my ancestry, in my family. So I don't know. None of my family members have ever really been able to embrace and let their creativity flourish. This is why creativity is such a big part of a ray of gratitude. Um, and creativity comes from the soul, y'all. It comes from the soul and it opens you up to spirit. And it really does help you go along that spiritual journey to really help you heal in different ways when you really have no idea of how to express your hurt, your wounds, and your past. Um, it's a really great starting point to do something. And creativity does not have to be um, the usual that you see. You know, when you look up and say, "Oh my God, he's so creative." No, that's not you. Your creativity is figuring out how to love yourself as well as figuring out who you are inside because it really does coexist. When you figure out like your gifts are unique, then that ties into your creativity. But you'll only understand that and value that when you start understanding and embracing your unique self. And for instance, if you're a creative person already and you know like, "Hey, I'm creative." Through this spiritual journey, try not to think about creating for the world to see or to get monetary gain. Get out of that box and actually allow you to sit in your own sacred circle. Go to your own desk or wherever you like to do, you know, outside even, and work on building a routine, a self care routine in that creative way. So you can just know, like, I'm doing this for me. This is part of my self care routine. This isn't for anybody else. This isn't for anybody to see. This is to help me. Because in turn, you'll start to realize and reflect on the things that you created and say, "Oh, wow, this is where I was at X amount of time." And then you'll start seeing the progression. Because again, it's all about the progression. It's not about being perfect, it's about the progression. So let's get to number 4, trust. Trust is a big ass part of the spiritual journey. You know, trusting in yourself to make decisions, trusting in yourself to create from a place of from your heart, trusting in yourself enough to know yourself and experience the things. Um, I spoke about anxiety, and this is also something like don't be afraid to go down the rabbit hole. The only reason why we go down the rabbit hole, I personally feel like, you know, it's because we never set the intention to learn what we're trying to learn or seek what we're trying to seek. And that kind of goes into number 5, which is about being grateful for your awareness. Um, but I just want to say trust, you know, again, trust in the process. This is a process. Life is a process. And it's up to you to understand and process the things that you're experiencing. Just like creativity, which is why I love to talk about creativity in the spiritual path because it's very synonymous. When you're creating something, it's a process. You don't just say, "I want to create something," and it happens. No, you have to figure out what's the best process. Because what I like to say is, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I'm sorry for any animal lovers out there, but I'm just saying, like, it really is. It's 1,000 ways to learn Photoshop, even. Like, let's be for real here. Um, and it's so many ways because you have to figure out what is best for you. Not for Sally, not for Jonathan, but for you. And so many times with this day and age of social media and things like that, we wind up bringing comparison in, or we wind up listening to somebody that seems very successful, but just because they were successful does not mean it's the best way for you. Why? Because they figured out a process that works best for them. And moving to number 5 is about finding gratitude in your awareness. You know, a lot of people out here are not aware of what's going on. They're not aware of their self. They're not aware of the reactions that happen when you're dealing with other people, or they're not even aware of the actions they're taking. And for me, I was in such high anxiety. I honestly felt like, again, like, what is going on? And anxiety doesn't help you become aware. It just kind of brings in fear and gets you all confused. Even depression. Depression kind of covers your whole self and kind of just blinds you to the reality of the present moment. And that's what I love about gratitude is it helps you stay in the present moment. It helps you understand and work from your heart space to be like, yes, I am grateful for XYZ, and really finding gratitude in the smallest things, because that's your own little blessings, honestly. When you're aware of the gratitude, it brings more blessings, and those blessings are specifically just for you, nobody else, just for you. And it helps you raise that vibration and just say, like, mm. It's like give yourself a hug. So, finding gratitude in the littlest things can really help you because let me tell you, I've been in the dark stuff. And if you understand what the dark night of the soul is, at times you can feel like, when is this? Where is this? What is this, right? But again, gratitude can teach you to be grateful for just breathing, to be grateful for the sunlight, to be grateful for a roof over your head, to be grateful for a small meal. Just finding gratitude in like the smallest things will really help you. So I really hope that this helps you. If you're on your spiritual path, whether you just started or whether you've been on it for 10 or 20 years, no matter what, it's not where you're at, but it's how you're acting in that moment. So, I really hope that these messages like this can really just help you raise your vibration and really love on yourself to know that you're unique and that it's okay. The best thing you can do is get to know yourself more because we're constantly learning and we're always going to learn. And this just popped in my head. Um, there's a quote by Eartha Kitt, and she said that I'm forever learning. My tombstone is my graduation. And, oh, don't actually quote me on that because I might have switched a word, but you get what I'm saying. So I just want to just put that out there. This is just a few videos that I like to do. That I also have my tarot readings as well for those that want spiritual growth and just some creative healing. You can also check out the links below. And again, if you feel in the vibe, please subscribe. Look forward for new content that is coming. Please comment below and let me know if it resonates with you. I really love that. As well as the more people comment, you never know who's really going to comment and also add more value to what I'm giving. So let me know what's up. I love to reach out and respond to people. So until next time, check me out. I'm outie. Peace.